Hello and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video. Today I'm doing a review of the Doctor Who, The Time Lord Victorious, issue 2 of the Titan Comics ones they're doing. I do have to say I really do like this cover of like 10 just pointing at Sonic and he's like, charge, with all these like Dalek boys just like zooming about the place. And then the orange and that is a really nice sort of makes the Daleks really pop, or at least I think so, like the grey, or the sort of greyish sort of colour with the blue spheres, and then Time Lord Victorious with the crack sort of thing, issue 2 and all that. Then on the back you've got the lovely timeline of all this, you know, Time Lord Victorious stuff and whatnot. Of course, spoiler alert, there will be spoilers in this review, so if you want to go into this as sort of blind as possible, please do that, and then come back and then watch my review, so, you know. But if you've if you've read the issue, then you obviously know what's going to happen, so, yeah. You've got Titan Comics website, Twitter and Facebook down there. You've got a bio of the Dalek Emperor, the Strategist, the TARDIS, the 13th Doctor and the 10th Doctor. And even if you did just buy this issue, there's a previous synopsis just to sort of catch you up pretty quickly, so yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Hond are okay baddies. I mean, I guess the Daleks are more the interesting baddies. And I can't remember if I said this in my previous review, but someone on Twitter did make the valid point that really, when you think about it, this is the first time we've ever actually had Daleks in a Titan comic, apparently. Like, actually physical, actual, like, well, physical, but, like, actual, like, drawn Daleks like this and that, you know. Previously they've either just always been mentioned, or we've had Dalek sources, or, as I say, we've seen shadows of them or images of them, maybe in a book or something, but never actually like that. Also, I adore that little clip, or this little box of like Gallifrey burnt, and that, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, there's some phenomenal artwork here. Props to the art people doing the artwork. Where is it now? Well, it might be a little bit, but I can't remember now whereabouts it was. But I love the fact that we see a little bit of this Dalek strategist. It really does, for lack of a better term, sort of humanise the Dalek, and all, like, remind you that actually there is this squidgy, disgusting, revolting, you know, thing inside it that just has this unnatural lust for killing, you know. And then you've got bits where, like, a chunk of his dome is, like, missing and that, you know, like, there, and then, as I say, there's that bit there. Where is it now? Is it further? Nope. I, for the life of me, cannot find this one panel and or bit of the thing where there's some really good, nice artwork, which is very frustrating. There we are. Yeah, like, this just looks amazing, you know, like the Hond. And I think it's referred to or referenced in this that they're from the Dark Times, which would make sense because I guess that's where the 9th Doctor stuff is. But I didn't think the 10th Doctor stuff would tackle the Dark Times. And, you know, like, just this. And they really do get the sort of rosy-cheekedness of the 10th Doctor as well in some of the other panels and whatnot. And his mannerisms, you know, his dialogue and his sort of body language and his dialogue. It feels like very... It feels just like maybe 1 or 2 notches down from Russell writing the 10th Doctor, or like him being in the show again. But I love this, you know, like he's sort of, you know, he's pitying this creature that is just in pain, you know. And as I say, there are all these Hond in this like bubble thing, and then you get shots of like Daleks in like sort of a spaceshipy type thing, or like sort of thing. Spoiler alert, or there's going to be spoilers coming up soon. There's the 13th Doctor as well. You know, she pops up, which is annoying because, I'm a bit annoyed about that because, like, I was just, like, flicking through this and then I turned the page like a few pages above, like further on than what I meant to do, and then I saw the 13th Doctor, and I'm like, oh really? That was gonna be such a cool shock if I hadn't have done that, But that's on me, really. But yeah, I have mixed feelings about the 13th Doctor being in this story, honestly. I'd have rather just it being a standalone sort of two-part 10th Doctor solo adventure, honestly. I'm kind of getting sick of the idea that the 10th Doctor and the 13th Doctor are just, like, always going to be in multi-Doctor stories and that's it. Like, because I'm pretty sure the previous set of stories was the one where it was, like, Blink for the 10th Doctor and Martha, and then or an Auton attack for the 13th Doctor and then Blink for the other Doctor, or vice versa, or something like that. I can't remember now, but yeah, I do love these two panels of close up of her Sonic and then his Sonic, and it being like opposite ends of the sort of thing, mirroring and a bit of a nod and homage to Day of the Doctor. There, I quite like that. Likewise with Twice Upon a Time, both TARDISes kind of zooming away from planet and that. So yeah, it's kind of funny because a lot of fans, or some fans, are very anti-Moffat's Doctor Who, and it's kind of just funny how, like, clearly a lot of the people making this were very pro his Doctor Who and that, or took a lot of inspiration from his Doctor Who, like the Day of the Doctor, like both of them using the Sonic at the same time, and then the TARDIS is zooming away from a planet and it kind of looking like Twice Upon a Time sort of thing. One thing I will say that really, really confused me was this bit. Like, why is the 8th Doctor there? I'm so confused. Like, please do comment below if you know why the 8th Doctor's there, and I take it the next thing would be in the timeline from this one, because that's issue 2 of this comic. The next thing would be, he kills me not, I would assume, and that. And then the next thing from there would be the magazine, and then the Dalek thing. Oh, well, that's merchandise. I was going to say, I thought that was, like, the animation, and I was like, wait, the animation doesn't come out the 20th of October. Where the hell does the animation come in? They don't even have the animation on here. They have live experiences, merchandise, audio, books, comics, and magazine. Huh. They don't have that, like little 5-part miniseries of Daleks on here. Nor do they have, obviously, that new 4th Doctor genetics of the Daleks. So yeah, I genuinely think, I like the idea of them having this timeline on the back of these comics, but it is a bit already out of date, which is ever so slightly infuriating. But yeah, so I guess the next thing in the timeline from this would be he kills me not. And I guess maybe they've had a picture of the 8th Doctor there in the 1996 TV movie sort of costume to sort of make people aware, if you want to continue the Time Lord Victorious stuff, that's where you're going next. Because, spoiler alert, but the next... Man, I need to stop saying that. The next issue isn't another Time Lord Victorious one. I'm pretty sure that's it. This is just a little... Yeah, it says the end, so it's like a little two-part... a two-parter, essentially, almost like a TV episode, or Modern Who episode even. The next one is a 13th and 10th and 13th Doctor sort of multi-Doctor story with the Sea Devils, and I already know Rose is going to be in it as a resistance fighter and that, so against the Sea Devils, so that should be interesting. And when that comes out, I will probably have that on subscription at my local comic book shop, so I will get a chance to read and review that for the channel. But yeah, I like the Hond. The Hond are okay. I don't think they're the best baddies ever. I honestly feel like the Dalek was cooler. I also quite like the idea of like a Rusty Dalek that's like from the old series as well, not just like Rusty, the one from Into the Dalek. And again, that's another thing. That's kind of from a Moffat episode, and so are the other things that I mentioned, so yeah. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Hond there. Looks very cartoony. But yeah, it has some nice twists and turns. The art, it is good. It's it's cartoony there, but other than that, the art is, sort of average to above average in certain bits. As I say, those two panels that I showed you earlier, or like 2 pages, which were just like, yeah, these 2 pages are like just stunning artwork, really, in my opinion. And I mean, I guess if you're a massive fan of the 13th Doctor, it will be a bit of a like, oh my god moment. But I have heard, or I have been, I am on Twitter and I have seen a lot of the criticisms of like, the whole thing about, the 10th Doctor being in all of this expanded universe stuff with the Big Finish audios, or lots of Big Finish audios, now the comics, the books, and that, because there are, obviously, Time Lord Victorious books, like The Night, The Fool, and The Dead, is a 10th Doctor Time Lord Victorious book, which I do want to get, but hopefully be getting that for Christmas, But yeah, basically, the common criticism is that basically, in the expanded universe, it's just basically the 10th Doctor, and not even the 13th Doctor. Which is kind of ironic, because I do feel like one thing I would a counter argument I would make would be that these are the same people who would probably not want that sort of stuff anyway, and or even if they did pick it up, be just like, oh, it's shit, oh, it's crap. It's not, it's not like when it was good, the TV show when it was good, like with Chris Eccleston or David Tennant. So it's like, you just can't win sometimes. You just can't please everyone all the time. And that basically. And yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see what the next issue is or comic, and I like the bit where the Doctor's sort of contemplating about, or could there be a good Dalek? And I had hope that there might be one day, and that, and yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess that's a nice sort of tie-in to the future of the show, and where obviously Doctor Who would go with, again, spoiler alert, but Rusty and whatnot, and yeah, I think if you're a big 10th Doctor fan and a big fan of Daleks, then obviously this two-part sort of Time Lord Victorious Doctor Who two-parter, what is the name of this comic? Dalek, what was it? It was like Dalek, Defender of the Daleks, I guess. Yeah, I think if you're a big 10th Doctor fan or Dalek fan, then it's the one for you, really. Or I honestly think if you've never read any of the Titan comics, I think this would be a brilliant jumping on point, because it's got one of the most popular Doctors and one of the most iconic villains, and then on top of that, the icing on the cake, as they say, would be ideally, the Hond, and this idea of like a baddie from what is referred to as the Dark Times, and getting a bit more sort of, for lack of a better term, extra nerdy, geeky, Doctor Who-y lore stuff that you wouldn't get in the TV show currently, or you very rarely get in the current show, as it were, and that. And I think, I think if you want any of those three things, then this two-part sort of Doctor Who comic, Doctor Who Time Lord Victorious comics would be a must-have for you, really, I think. And that, and as I say, it's substantial enough. I kind of get what James Goss is saying now when I've seen him in interviews. Like, this is substantial enough. If you're just wanting to pick up these two comics and read these, then you can just do that. But if you want more, if you then think, oh my god, why is the 8th Doctor there? Well, actually, if you then look at the back, the next thing, as I said before, is he kills me not. And then you could maybe pick that up, and who knows, that might be your first experience of getting a Doctor Who audio, for all I know, but yeah, so I think it was a good comic, and yeah, thanks for watching. Please do comment, rate, and subscribe.